Thursday, September the 14th, 2023, and I'm back in Rye. A first visit in a number of years actually. About to undertake Book 2, Walk 29 in reverse, which is Hastings to Rye. Clearly I'm doing it the other way round and using the GPX track to do that. Got a cracking day today. Bit of a breeze, not much though. Southerly, sunny intervals today, so all looking good. Got about I think it's about 12 miles to do, although the GPX track is indicating only 8. Whichever, what I do recall is that it's quite a tough walk because of the undulations from Fairlight to Hastings. When I last did this walk, which was done on the mobile, hence this rewalk today, and it was done in 2009, and I didn't complete it. So the mobile snippets were only between Hastings and Winchelsea. So fingers crossed I can complete the walk today and get it all filmed. It's about 12 noon now, so let's press on, see how things pan out. I almost certainly am anticipating cattle today, certainly in the section over towards Pett level, where I will take lunch probably, so there might be some hold-ups. Let's see. A lot of today's walk is going to be on the 1066 country walk, and almost immediately outside the station, opposite Jempson's local store here. That's what we're following. We don't get to see much of the town today on this particular walk, thankfully in my opinion today, because the town is absolutely rammed with coach parties, and I wouldn't want to be particularly going around the hot spots, to be quite frank. Can't wait to get out into the countryside, to be honest. Chacun a son goût, as they say over the water. Now I'm coming off the busy A259 that I've been on at this block of flats called Quayside Court. And thankfully we're now leaving Rye behind us and getting into the countryside, walking across characteristic marshlands, which I'm hoping will be full of sheep rather than cattle, but let's see. A railway carriage there, converted into a useful garden office or study or something of that ilk. And so far this track that I'm on is between vegetable crops, so if that's the case all the way to Winchelsea, that'll be fine. Views back to the Cinque Port of Rye. And there is a bit of a breeze picking up now that you might be able to hear. Very welcome from my perspective. Midday sun and all that. First style of the day. So you can tell we're on the borders of East Sussex and Kent. Not many gates to be had. Not much to report thus far, being relatively continuous marshland, and the vegetable crops have now luckily turned into sheep territory. Some kind of harrier there, I would guess. Can't tell from this distance what it is. in the right kind of terrain though for it to be a harrier. Crossing over some stream here that's been freshly maintained by the looks of things, and by the smell as well. Quite fresh smell, probably full of nitrates and phosphorus, mind you, so likely nothing living in it. And in fact, upon checking the map, it's called Padiham Sewer, so most definitely very little will be living in it. Horrendous wind farm over there in the distance. At least this farmer, having ploughed the field, has kind of reinstated the old path by driving his tractor across. Bit indistinct, but as people walk it, hopefully it'll get more marked up. Good on him. So yeah, this is classic East Sussex footpath maintenance. Gaping hole in this footbridge, no vegetation clearance. Classic. More sheep ahead, thankfully. One parting view of Rye. As Winchelsea comes into view. Winchelsea was, of course, exactly that, on the sea at one point. I'm now stood on what used to be the old coastline, hence the Saxon shore path walk comes into play soon. So you can tell by some of the old names attached to these buildings what used to be here. Replicating what I said earlier about the village being on the coast. The old rail line's not too far away, and neither's that noisy plane above me. So at this severe left turn, or right, whichever way you're coming, we take a right here. Now following the 1066 country walk. And as we walk past Ferry Hill wastewater treatment works on my left, got some tree cover, welcome respite from the overhead sun. And like last week, that hums a bit as well. Good God. Back out into open countryside now, away from the plane noise and the sewer smells. Now surprisingly, it's quite dewy here, very autumnal, and of course a couple of nights ago there was actually a frost in the Highlands, so just a bit of a reminder that we are approaching the equinox now. Decent vista as I ascend now. And talking of ascent, height range today of 2 foot up to I think it's 520 odd. Sea just comes into view. I'm about 75 foot up here, so clearly quite a lofty height for this particular area. Cracking view. As another train pulls out. Now I've just realised that somewhere in this first couple of miles, probably when I went over the stile, I've lost my map case and the walk instructions. So that's unfortunate. Secateurs a couple of months ago, which I haven't yet replaced, and this week the map case and instructions. So there's another expense. Thank God I've still got the GPX track, which I'm adhering to pretty religiously anyway, but it's always nice to have an outlook on the wider area. Information panel here about Winchelsea, and this view that I'm currently getting is the old windmill site, and there's a trig point behind me marking 37 metres. Just over there, and here are some remnants of the old windmill. Which today features this beacon, and the altimeter confirms this as being 107 foot, so once again pretty accurate. And there is another windmill over there in the distance. Where's it gone? Cracking. And we'll be seeing a bit more of that later. The old English Channel. Now there is some kind of monument over there marked on the map, but without my notes I can't tell what it is, and it's not actually on the track today. Anyway, Winchelsea is a very historic place, as you'll find out if you search for more information online. This is National Trust land. So that's where I was a little while ago, at the base of the hill. All we've done is a little circuit. St Thomas Church, Winchelsea. What a lovely clock they've got, which is bang on time.
Total distance 3 miles.
And there we have the nuclear power station, Dungeness. As you may have heard, we're exactly 3 miles in at this point. Quite an amazing place by the look of it. So Google that if you want more information. St Thomas's, Winchelsea, under renovation look. Just as well I didn't have that earmarked for my lunchtime stop. Plenty of pubs around here as well. Information panel here about William the Conqueror Trail, 1066 country. Strand Gate, Winchelsea. So by all accounts we now have a view over Pewis Marsh. Google that for more info. Pewis. Yeah, I do seem to recall this section. This might be cattle country, or certainly was back 14 years ago. Decent vista ahead. Once again, a biplane in the background. Seems to be a good day for it today, just like walking. A well signposted walk this. Another ruin over there. We're approaching a place called Newgate on the map. Yeah, it looks like a former entrance to the village of Winchelsea. Interesting. Yeah, there it goes. Little lizard. Looks like a little green one as well, as opposed to a common one. Don't see them very often. Yeah, and as expected, this section now alongside the military canal down to Pett level I've thought was cattle territory, so this is going to be dicey for me. Big herds as well. Once again, National Trust land. Well, luckily we're walking away from the cattle. There's the raised bank of the military canal there, and we're walking through rough country here beside woodland. Walking alongside the base of Wickham Cliff here on the map, and this even in the height of, or the end of summer, it's quite damp underfoot, as you'd expect in these marshlands. Another small bird of prey over there, which I can't tell at the moment. It's right at the max of my zoom. Now cross over a tiny footbridge to get onto the Royal Military Canal. Google that for more information. Basically was built to repel Napoleon back in the day. The only thing I want it to repel is these herds of cattle that will be on my left. Now joining the Saxon Shoreway to take us for lunch in Pett Level. Warning note from a coot down there. Looks like a herd of red deer over there, judging by the size of those antlers. Stag and his harem. Not too afraid of being out in the open. And another windmill up there on the hill. The old swan was disturbed by me just now, probably having a nice little doze, and it tried to fly off, but clearly there's not enough space for it to do so. So as you can see, you get these marker posts every now and again. Cliff end a mile now. Views back from a point near Cliff End. Information panel here about the Pett Level Preservation Trust, formed in 1974 by local people. Again, look online if you want more information about that. There's some military history, of obviously, bearing in mind the location. Wonderful idea. We're now joining the Saxon Shoreway over the other side of this road for sea views, no doubt. There you go, very shingly beach here, with Dungeness once again in the distance. Bit rocky there. And here's my onward journey, which unfortunately I didn't allow for, is against the sun. Yeah, bad thinking, man. There is a former pillbox. The bird viewing platform now over the nature reserve. Good idea. And there's what's awaiting us this afternoon. Very different environment. Woods and hills. Need to have my lunch shortly to prepare for it. So exactly 6 mile in, 2:30, time for lunch. And thank George and Joan Gingell here for this seat. There are a number along this promenade next to the stony beach here, and incidentally England's only desert apparently over by Dungeness Beach. Harbours all kinds of desert type plants apparently. But here's my lunchtime view today. Wonderful. Makes a change, eh? Okay, 3 o'clock, lunch has been had. Now let's tackle the tougher bit of this walk. Now about to join the Maritime Heritage Trail, which is a new one on me. Nice little lunchtime stop here for an individual, with a wonderful vista. There's the beach where I was a short while back. Quite amazing that a lawnmower should be out just as I happen to be passing again. There's that horrible wind farm. And there's Dungeness, which brings to mind Putin and Kim Jong-un for some reason. Cracking afternoon, wonderful. And the good thing about the Hastings coastline is that there's no wind farms out there. Long may that remain the case. Okay, this is where the naturist beach is, so I need to watch myself down here. Wonderful little section of walking this, protected from the wind on either side. Not so much an issue today obviously, but on a cold November day, very handy. Looking down on Fairlight Cove, where for those that wish, I believe you can do a dip in the sea here. Not my bag when I'm walking, but there are those that often do it by all accounts. And I wonder if there's a peregrine over there. It's the only hawk I know that would hang onto a cliff in the way that's occurring over there. I just saw it land somewhere. Can't tell if I've got it in focus. About 175 foot up here. There have been a lot of frequent rock falls along this coast, meaning that this particular route has had to be detoured quite a bit. So I'm expecting to be walking a slightly different route to what I did before. And this may indeed be the path down to the cove where the naturist beach is, I'm not sure. Coming off the main lane through Fairlight, which is kind of a suburb of Hastings really. Very nice it is as well. We're turning up Rockmead Road here. Coming off the main lane through Fairlight, which is kind of a suburb of Hastings really. Very nice it is as well. We're turning up Rockmead Road here. Now entering a more residential area. So I've obviously been on a bit of a diversion here. Path would have previously gone down there prior to probably Rockfalls. So I'm now back on the Saxon Shoreway, confirmed by this sign, and I do a right here. Warning notice here about an outbreak of avian flu in Hastings and the Rother area as we enter the countryside area, countryside park, and an information panel here telling us about Hastings Country Park Nature Reserve, which is what we're about to enter. This part being the Fire Hills. Just under 4 miles per this to Hastings. A parting shot of Dungeness basking in the evening sun. Ironic that, really. Plenty of gorse around up here. Unusually not much of it in flower at the moment. As I've said before, there's usually one variety in flower at any time. Passing some kind of radio mast here. Not much bird sound either today. Probably because of the heat. And there you go, there's a bit of gorse in flower. Not much though. So here we go, wild Exmoor ponies and belted Galloway. I wish all cattle were belted Galloway. Mixed animal, produces both milk and meat, and quite a decent size. It's not large and pumped up with steroids. Covehurst Bay, which I have to descend down and then ascend on the other side. I think it's 4 of these into Hastings. Descents and ascents. The advantage of the valley section is that it's nice and cool in the woodland. Wonderful mixed woodland down here. Views back whence I've come. Where that couple are there. Wonderful. So there you go. This path leading to a place called Black Rock on the map. And I do believe that's where the Saturday walkers go for their dip. At their own risk, of course. Some kind of gamekeeper's larder here. Look like magpie feathers. Yeah, good stuff. Too many people wandering off of paths. Peacocks and red admirals love this. Although that's the painted lady, isn't it? I think over there. But they're loving whatever this plant is. Don't think it's buddleia, is it? Wouldn't put it past it. And that set of stairs and that climb is the last of them, I believe. Mile to go. Looking back whence I've come. Wonderful afternoon. And still Dungeness is visible. Wasn't expecting that. Okay, just coming into Hastings now.
What's all this?
Ready for my supper. Yeah.
That's it. Sexual favour.
The old fishing huts where they used to air the nets. Okay, no time to do a report on the platform, but after a very pleasant fish and chips supper in Hastings, that was a very good walk. Lots of variety, obviously, with the contrast between the flat of the Rye to Winchelsea section, and thereafter from Pett level to Hastings, the hilly section, and aided and abetted by glorious weather. So that's book 2, walk 29, completed in reverse for the first time, as I didn't complete it when I first tried it. So until next time, take care.